Your contract is processed, and what means that once we've come to full agreement, then your contract goes through the whole process, and that your earnest money and your option fee are deposited. And the earnest money goes to Phyllis, the title company. All right, and your option fee is deposited, and that option fee is given actually to the seller, and that's money that's given to him or her, and that is your unrestricted right money to back out. It's your buyer's remorse money too, or your inspection comes through. We just had one done today by a good client of mine. That the inspection came out bad, and he didn't want to deal with plumbing issues, and the roof needed to be replaced because of the storm and all that. Just didn't want to deal with it. We got him out based on his $150. He lost his $150, but he got his earnest money back, and we moved on. We're moving on to find another house. Okay, all the stuff that Phyllis is involved with is ordering all the stuff, all the paperwork that it takes to put together your transaction. And the loan continues to be processed with Kenton or Dominic, and it's underwritten. It used to be that it's all underwriting was done back in the old days when I got in the business. It was done by human beings. We actually sat down with the file and said, is this person worthy to get a loan? And they would go through all the numbers. Then we got away from that, and everything was computerized, right? I mean, everything, right? Computerized, and we were getting, well, you had somebody that had ratios that didn't make any sense at all, but if the computer said yes, they got the loan. Okay, but now it's back to more sensible underwriting, which is do they have the income, the credit, and it's really the way it should have been done. But now they have actually people looking at the loans after, right? I mean, it's still underwritten now.
Yeah, well, there's still manual underwrites for the most part. There's
okay.
Human beings.
So there's actually human beings, people helping me.
Human beings are looking at the machines now.
Okay, the human beings are looking at the machines. Okay, all right. Whoa. All right, that's for another topic. Okay. So your inspection is performed. Inspection is, and that is a state licensed inspector goes through the entire property and makes sure that everything that is working or in working condition, and those conditions that are not working, he marks it up on your inspection, and that inspection then is reviewed by us, agent and buyer, to say, wow, that roof got hit with the hailstorm. We've got some plumbing issues here in the house. Who's going to pay for it? Okay, and normally what we have is we negotiate, once again, repairs, and it's sometimes in the form of money. Here, I'll give you $1,000 to fix these things, and you do it with what you want. Other times, we just actually have to have them repaired. I think with the storm that came through, the insurance company, we actually have to have the roof repaired before the lender will actually fund on it now. So instead of just saying, here's $10,000, fix the roof yourself, they're not biting off on that. Okay, so one of the things I warn people about these inspections is that they're, how many pages are they? 15 pages inspection. And what they really are is there's usually 3 to 30 items that come up. And most of the time they're not that big of a deal. But they look official, like if the wiring in the there's some GFCI outlets that are not, we're talking about $20 and $30 or $70 items. But it looks daunting, so that's why you want to have your realtor and even the inspector explain the items to you. And in fact, what you really want to do is be at the inspection when the inspection is done, and you'll learn a lot about the house. These inspectors are zealous. They'll tell you, they'll teach you all kinds of things about a house. Every time I go to one, I learn something new. All right. If there's further investigation, maybe there's something wrong with the property you want to have investigated, we can extend the option period or get you out and go find another house. So just because you sign a contract to buy a house and you have time to get it inspected. If the inspection doesn't pan out, we'll get you back out and we'll go find you another house. All right? A little bit different process with new homes because you don't have an inspection period, but you do have walkthroughs and you do have the option to inspect it towards the end while the house is almost finished. Okay, step 9, we're almost done. We're almost in the house. Conditions are satisfied. Conditions are agreed to by the parties, are performed, and contingencies are removed. All the loans conditions are satisfied, and documents are drawn up and delivered to the title company, and the buyer performs a final walkthrough. Okay, and I love being, every time I like to be on those final walkthroughs, especially with new construction, because I've seen so many homes. I love looking at the cosmetics because I get to have more eyes on the cosmetics. In other words, the paint and scratches and all that, and cabinets, little scratches on that. I'm really very picky, and I make the builders get that property fixed the way it's supposed to be. The buyer also on a resale home is to make sure that the things that they agreed to fix in off their inspection, that they've been done. And finally, it's to make sure that there's been no floods, fires, or hailstorms between the time you put it under contract and the time that you bought the house. Okay, so next is we're going to Phyllis's office, closing and home ownership. Closing is performed by the title company, and you gain title, which is that nice deed, that warranty deed that they give you. You leave the closing with the keys and a big stack of papers that Phyllis gives you, a big thick binder. She's got this high-speed copier that makes, I mean, within 2 minutes she has, how many pages? 150 pages of stuff? Okay. You get to enjoy the benefits and the responsibilities of home ownership. By the way, just a few things. Make sure that you use a cashier's check when you go to closing, and bring your checkbook in case if there's some shortages in the closing statement. So make sure you bring a cashier's check, and also bring your ID. Do we need 2 pieces of ID now because of the privacy? Sometimes? Because of the, what is it, the Patriot Act? Okay. A lot of people get to closing and they go, you know, oh, I brought my checkbook, and it's, no, it's got to be that. Also, one thing I want to make sure why you have an agent, one of the big reasons is, I can tell you that 9 times out of 10, I find a mistake on the closing statement, usually in the buyer's favor. And sometimes it's thousands of dollars, okay? Almost every time, sometimes a little bit, sometimes a lot. I also get to explain to you some of the things that people won't tell you about what's deductible and things like that. Your pros, your professionals, say thank you for the opportunity to serve you, and then we ask once again for the referral. In fact, we like to ask you for a referral all the way through the process, including once you get out of this room. You may not buy a house, but you may know somebody who's going to. You want to say, hey, talk to these guys. They really seem like they know what they're doing, and they really seem to be honest and have a high level of integrity. I'm not going to go over all these people here, but this is in your book, because the asterisk that you have on there, these are all the people that you put to work when you buy a house. That's why you should be treated like the first-class citizen you are when you're a first-time home buyer. How many people feel like a first-class citizen when they go to a realtor and say, I'm buying my first home? I'm sorry, I've been in the business a long time. They don't get treated as well. Somebody is buying a home, that's buying their 3rd or 4th home, has a home to sell and a new home to buy, buying the 300 or 500 or million. Really? You guys be treated like the first-class citizen. 42% of the market's first-time home buyers, and every time a first-time home buyer buys a house, you put all these people to work. You pay all these people salary. So they should be kissing the ground you walk on when you look at the economy that a first-time home buyer buys. And guess what? When this first-time home buyer buys this house and put everybody's salary to work, that person usually is going to go buy another house and put a whole other. So you guys are helping. Why do you think we got the $8,000 tax credit? Because the government knows how important it is to get first-time home buyers off the step, because they put all these people to work who then put a whole litany of people down the line as these people buy up or buy their next house. It's amazing how much economic boost that we get from buying a first-time home. Okay, so be treated like the first-class citizen you are, and that's what our job is to do here. All right, I'm going to bring, and a new home track, you're putting all those guys to work too. You know, one of the things about buying a new home right now, a lot of times they'll sell the house at a loss. Why? Because they've got crews to pay. They don't want to just say, okay, well, we didn't sell any homes this month, so you're fired. Sometimes they'll sell at a loss just to keep the operation going, okay?